cartographers marked unknown territories with sea serpents, monsters, and words like "here be dragons." I'm sure they were meant as warnings to retreat, but humans being humans, I bet they also functioned as invitations to the bold. Today's electricity industry stands at similar uncharted edges, facing the unprecedented convergence of electrification, decarbonization, and digitalization. Those dragons are real, but so is the treasure that they guard. Now, three forces are reshaping the map. First, we're converting our fossil fuel world to electric power at breathtaking speed. Heat pumps replacing furnaces, electric vehicles of all sorts. Together with AI, this shift promises cleaner air and reduced emissions, but massively increases electricity demand just when we're trying to eliminate fossil fuels from power generation. Next, decarbonization. This means transitioning from coal and natural gas to renewables, primarily wind and solar. Now, this isn't just swapping technologies, it's fundamentally rethinking how we generate power. Here's the biggest operational difference. Unlike fossil plants that run when needed, renewables produce when nature allows. This intermittency creates unprecedented complexity in maintaining grid reliability. Finally, digitalization is transforming electricity from a dumb commodity into an intelligent, responsive network. Smart meters, AI-driven grid management, and real-time optimization turn passive infrastructure into an active thinking system. This isn't optional. It's the only way to manage the complexity created by electrification and decarbonization. Here's the critical insight. These three forces need each other. Electrification without clean generation just moves emissions from tailpipe to smokestack. Clean generation without digitalization creates expensive chaos. You can't balance a modern grid with high percentages of renewables using yesterday's tools. And digitalization without purpose just creates expensive toys. So it's a three-legged stool. Weaken or remove any leg, and the whole structure collapses. But with all three legs working together, they create not just a stable foundation, but positive feedback loops, each amplifying the others, accelerating us towards a barely imaginable future. But first, we must slay the dragons. I'll name them for you. The infrastructure dragon looms largest. Our electricity grids were designed when power flowed in one direction, from massive centralized plants to passive consumers. Today's grid, by contrast, must handle multi-directional flows, intermittent generation, and millions of distributed resources like rooftop solar, batteries, and demand response. It's like asking a Model T era road system to handle Formula One racing. The infrastructure exists, but it's fundamentally inadequate. Modernization requires staggering investment precisely when utilities and governments face financial constraints. Payback periods are long, the risks feel enormous. And the system can't stop for us to rebuild it. Second, the skills dragon, breathing fire across the workforce. The electrical industry faces a retirement wave as baby boomers exit, taking decades of experience with them. Meanwhile, the rising workforce needs that experience and both legacy and new skills. Today's grid operators need data science alongside electrical engineering. Technicians need software skills plus the traditional trades. Project managers must understand both electrons and algorithms. For their part, educational institutions struggle to keep pace. How do you train people for jobs that don't yet exist? How do you retrain existing professionals without disrupting operations? The gap between needed skills and available talent is widening daily. The reliability dragon. Now that strikes fear into every system operator's heart. Reliability is not negotiable. Hospitals, data centers, and countless critical systems depend on uninterrupted, perfect power. Yet we're increasing demand through electrification while replacing dispatchable generation with intermittent renewables. The margin for error shrinks as complexity grows. Battery storage systems help, but we're years from sufficient capacity. Forecasting improves, but weather remains unpredictable. The risk of cascading failures increases as systems become more interconnected. One mistake can darken entire regions. Next, the economic dragon that guards the transformation's finances. The investment required is measured in trillions, but who pays? Utilities operating on regulated returns can't shoulder it alone. Governments face competing priorities. Private capital seeks faster returns than infrastructure typically provides. Meanwhile, fossil fuel assets become stranded, creating write-downs and economic disruptions in the communities that depend on them. The economics of the transition must work not just in aggregate, but for actual companies, communities, and individuals making decisions today. Finally, the equity dragon, which may prove to be the most dangerous of them all. Who benefits from electric vehicle subsidies and smart grid optimization? Who gets left behind? It's easy to picture a widening energy divide. Some communities enjoying efficient, resilient, clean systems, while others remain tethered to aging, polluting infrastructure. I'll put it out there. If this transformation increases inequality rather than reducing it, we have failed, even if we've hit our capacity costs and carbon targets. So why venture forward? Well, because beyond these dragons lies treasure worth the risk. Imagine a world where energy is clean, abundant, and affordable, where air, soil, and water quality doesn't shorten lives, where electricity flows reliably, even as climate change intensifies. Every home can generate and store its own power, resilient against grid failures. Imagine industries operating at peak efficiency, wasting nothing, emitting no carbon. Transportation systems that are quieter, cleaner, faster, and more accessible. An economy decoupled from fossil fuel price volatility and geopolitical instability. This is not utopian fantasy. It's the logical outcome of successfully navigating the transformation. The technology exists and improves constantly. The economics get better all the time. What's required is courage, investment, and collaboration. For example, success requires innovative financing, mobilizing capital at an unprecedented scale, green bonds, public-private partnerships, mechanisms making economics work even for those with limited financial resources. It demands regulatory courage to overhaul frameworks designed for yesterday's energy system, creating space for innovation while protecting reliability and equity. Educational transformation must prepare workers for jobs that don't yet exist, capturing legacy knowledge and retraining existing professionals while attracting new talent. Radical collaboration between utilities, technology companies, manufacturers, governments, and communities is essential. No single entity has all the answers, and success requires that everyone have a seat at the table. An inclusive design from the beginning ensures this transformation lifts all the boats, not just the yachts. Now, those old cartographers marked dragons as warnings to retreat, but I think also as invitations to the bold. They understood that every great discovery requires venturing beyond the known. That treasure always lies beyond fear. So our dragons are real. The challenges are formidable, but the alternative, clinging to the familiar as the climate destabilizes, isn't safety. It's slow motion catastrophe. The map of our energy future remains incomplete. The journey will be long and arduous, but we know our destination: a zero carbon, electrified, digitally intelligent energy system serving all of humanity. There be dragons indeed, and beyond them, a future worth fighting for. Let's get to work. For continued conversation and exploration of these ideas, connect with me on LinkedIn or at leb@blevins.global.com. You can also check out other episodes of Edison Squints on YouTube, and please subscribe and comment while you're there. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.